Well, how are we doing? It's Thursday afternoon. I'm out here on the front porch enjoying the sunshine and the nice weather. They're talking about sometime in the next 7 days we're supposed to get fall temps, which, it's this time of year, I can't say anything. Even though it's gonna be disappointing and disheartening because winter is just right around the corner, so to say. Uh, you know, but it is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. Take the punches as it comes, and be prepared. Here lately, I've been harvesting goldenrod, which is a weed. It's Kentucky State Plier. Um, I've been cutting the heads, the flower heads off the top of the plant. I put them in a dehydrator, position myself a little better. And after I put them in a dehydrator, I let them run for about 12, 13, maybe 14 hours on the lowest setting as possible. Then I take them out and you strip all the the dried flowers off the stem parts, and then I just eventually after I get enough of them, put them inside this like grinder, blender kind of thing, and grind it up to as fine of a powder as I can get it to. And then I load them into tea bags and zip them up and use them for herbal tea. There are a few things that goldenrod does help with, like inflammation and things like that. It's nothing too severe. It makes a wonderful tea. And of course, I've been working on some mullein, and let's see, what else was it? Oh yeah, marigolds, because I planted a shit ton of marigolds this year. And yeah, I've been harvesting marigolds off and on for the past couple of months. And I've already made a few bags of marigold tea, which I still need a bunch more because I usually take that to market on the weekends. And it's kind of I don't know, it's the only thing that really saves me on some of this is I have a lot of people. I would say a lot of people. There's a good handful amount of people that look at things like this as like a medicinal kind of thing, which technically it is, um, but it's a safer alternate to the chemical crap that doctors prescribe. So, and that's what I do it for. And I use it myself. Some things I use myself, and some things I don't, just because I don't like the flavor of. But it is what it is. It's no harm, no foul. Now, tomorrow, after I post this video, I'm making sure my camera's fully charged and everything else, because tomorrow is CowDays, and CowDays takes place in Greensburg, Kentucky, and 99.9% of my grandfather's family is from Campbellsville, Greensburg, Adair County, Columbia, so on and so on and so on. And here's the more comical thing about it. I kind of wish my last name was Pickett, other than what it is, because down in Tennessee, there's a county that's named after one of my grandfather's, like, great-grandfathers, which is Pickett County, Tennessee, which is on the, I guess, I wouldn't say central part of Kentucky, but it's right there against the Kentucky-Tennessee line area. But it's great, yeah. And but yeah. Then after tomorrow, going to Greensburg, because I'm going to record some stuff down there, and make maybe a couple of small videos, so kind of like a walkthrough. Nothing really long, maybe like a couple 5-10 minute videos. That's about it. I'll have them posted sometime this week end, and Saturday, I'm gonna sit around the house, and I'm not for sure. I know I gotta get a couple packages sent out. I might do that Monday morning. I was gonna do it Saturday, but I don't think I want to get up that early to go to the post office, which I might. I might do it. But the rest of the day, I do know that I have to go by the market and pick up a couple cases of tomatoes because I got them pre-ordered. And if I don't do it Saturday, it'll be Sunday that I will go into the woods because I have to mark a few sassafras trees. And the reason why I got to mark them is so that way when all the leaves fall off the tree, well, the saplings of the tree, or mini trees, or however you want to call it, because by then all the sap root, well, actually all the sap will go back to the roots, so that way in like November-ish when I dig them up, or even say mid-October when I dig them up, I'll have plenty of really good sassafras root that I can use for making tea. And I do plan on, depending on how much sassafras I can find that I can actually that will be available for me to dig, I might dig some and strip the bark down as much as possible, down to even like shave the bark off and cut the roots off and split them and everything else, and stick them in some Mylar bags and sell the root as it is, and but having directions how to use it for making tea and stuff like that. But good old-fashioned redneck ingenuity. After having this, my drink here, I was at market one day, and of course I had a great big jug of it, and the president of the farmers market sat there, and he goes, "What the hell are you drinking?" I said, "Antifreeze." And he kind of looked at me kind of funny because it actually does kind of look like antifreeze. And then I'm going to give an extra little shout out. This right here, this is a vendor that comes up to the market, and if you want to pause the video and take your cell phone and click that QR code there, she's military, and you can, like, as she says, you can join her little side page club thing, and I know that she sells a gallon of this lemonade for 25 bucks a gallon, and it's almost like state fair lemonade. That's what, and it's wonderful. As a diabetic person, I'm not supposed to have it, but it tastes so good. It's not even funny. But what I do is basically, like I said, if it'll focus, there it goes. That's her little logo for the cups, and I reuse my lemonade cup for like an everyday cup. Now, there is a cap lid that goes on here with a straw, but sometimes I use it, a lot of times I don't. But yeah, it's a great plastic cup. It's more like a miniature pot wise, but it is what it is. My wife's like, she goes, "Why don't you use a regular cup? So I can wash it out, put ice in it." Because I usually drink the same thing over and over. So I don't care. Don't bother my ass none. Redneck Tupperware, I guess you would call it. Like the old country crock butter containers that your grandmas would always save and use it for putting food in. I do this. I've not used an actual glass or cup other than when I go to my mom's house, or maybe a relative's or a friend's house. I might drink one out of one of their cups, but you know, I've drank out of styrofoam and plastic cups for the past year, mainly because I hate washing dishes, and I don't have to worry about grabbing another cup. I can wash it out, there, put ice in it, boom, there you go. I keep everything simple and easy as possible. Now, the farm that I was supposed to have inherited got sold to another family member. You know, it was a really shitty deal on my part. I was supposed to have inherited the property. There was a clause issue in the thing, which, yeah, I'm out 50 acres of property, but at least it stayed in the family, and I'm not saying that I can go down there whenever I want and tromp around like I used to be able to, but I imagine if I talked to my second cousin and say, hey man, I'm going to bring the boy down here and I want to go down here with him, stuff like that, he's not going to have an issue with it, so, as far as I know. And if he does, you know, that's fine. I mean, there's other places we can go tromp around at, but it's nice knowing that, you know, I grew up down there as a kid. I know the layout, I know the terrain, I know so many stories about certain places on parts of the farm. But, you know, my intention was, after inheriting the property later down the road, whatever I didn't use on it, basically give it to one of my kids, or split it and give it to both of my kids. But that's not going to take place because, well, I got shafted in the process, and a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo kind of BS, and you know, it is what it is. You know, my late father-in-law used to tell me all the time, don't stress over things you have no control over, and it's just one of those things I'm not going to stress over. You know, deep down inside I feel like I've been ripped off, but you know, it's out of my hands, and you know, there's nothing I can really do about it, so why worry over something that you can't control? I have had a few friends of mine, they're like, man, why don't you get a lawyer and take it to court and try to get your land, property back and everything else, or yada yada yada. And I told them, I said, look, I said, that's going to take thousands of dollars to do, and I don't have thousands of dollars to pay a lawyer to fight to get my property back. And because worst case scenario is they're going to say, the court's going to say, well, you know, the clause factor stated blah blah blah, and it was sold to another person in the family. The only thing they're going to say is well, you're going to, you know, the best you can do is sue the other person for the money, or half the money, or a quarter of the money, and you know, there you go. And it's just not worth it. You know, it's the headache, the stress, the legalities and everything. It's just not worth it to me. In a few years, this place will be paid off, and you know, yeah, it's not no 50 acres, but you know, it'll be mine, and you know, I can still pretty much do what I want with it. So the only difference is I have a monthly payment until it's paid for, and then after that, you know, I ain't got to worry about nothing. Hopefully I'm still alive to enjoy it, and you know, it is what it is. Don't stress over things you have no control over. A great life point, and what more could you say? But it is what it is. Yes, I know I haven't posted on here in a while. I've made a few videos and I've deleted them, and this one here I'll put up for sure, but like I said, sometime this evening, it'll be somewhere between 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll put this up, and you know, whoever sees it, and it might be a day or so before somebody else sees it, but you know, it is what it is. You know, I don't have. A long time ago, I would try to make a video every day, and to me, I don't know. To me, it's like I was being pushy, like trying to push, just keep pushing, push. I would much rather, make a video, post maybe once or twice a week, if that, twice a week max. Once a week be fine with me. Just let you know that I'm still alive, that I'm still kicking. Um, there's just so many things right now this time of year that I'm really pushing to try to do. It's like I'm running around with my head on fire trying to look for a bucket of water, because there's my garden's still producing. I got tomatoes I can be picking this evening. I got peppers out there to be picked. I gotta cut some more marigolds so I can dehydrate them. Then I have to walk in the backfield behind me, gather up a few pounds of goldenrod tops so I can boil all of that down. And what you do is you boil, like, I think it's like 8 to 12 cups of goldenrod heads. And after you boil that, of course you gotta sift strain everything. Then I don't want to say you boil it, but it's like a low boil. Make sure it's still nice and hot. Add some pectin to it. Then add your sugar, some lemon juice, and of course you'll make jelly eventually with it. And it's like a low grade honey. If you ever had dandelion jelly, it tastes similar to dandelion jelly. See, dandelion jelly is like if you took a bowl of honey and put a jar of dandelion jelly and you got blindfolded. Of course, when you picked up the spoon of honey and you was to taste it, you'd know right then it was honey. But if you took a spoon of dandelion jelly and put it in your mouth, the only way you would know it would be jelly would be the texture. But it tastes identical to honey. And goldenrod jelly is a weaker grade of dandelion jelly, which still tastes like honey, but it's more of a honey kind of jelly-ish kind of taste to it. It's weird. But that's one of the things I'm gonna be making here shortly, and then I gotta process a few pie pumpkins, or baby sweets, however you want to call them, because I'm gonna be making apple butter. And then after that, of course, I got I'll be having to dig sassafras root and a few other things out in the woods for more medicinal kinds of teas or drink forms. And I have a 7.5 gallon container in the house right now. I'm making corncob wine, which technically it's wine, but when it's done and everything, it's going to taste almost like Everclear, like a distilled spirit. It's going to be that strong. And but technically it's wine. So I'm making that. And if push comes to shove and it doesn't set the way it should, I'm just going to take that 7.5 gallons of corncob wine, if it doesn't turn the way it's supposed to, and I'm going to dump that inside my 10-gallon still, and I'm going to run that to make at least a few gallons of Kentucky Creek water, and pass some of that out for Christmas gifts. But there's like I said, this time of year, like during the summertime, it's easy because the only thing I really gotta do, water the garden, pick a few vegetables, mow the grass, do some trim work around the hedge areas of the property line. Nothing too major. This time of year, this is like springtime for me. Springtime, I gotta go out and get the plants, get the seed starts, fertilize, make sure everything's done properly, stakes and props and everything else. And this year it's harvesting as much as I can to extend through winter and possible into the next year for spring. Um, this is like crunch time for me, so this is why sometimes you might see me on here, and other times you won't see me at all. Now, for the past year or year and a half, when I was not on YouTube whatsoever, is because my camera broke, and I played around with a couple other cameras and stuff like that, and either the quality wasn't there, or they didn't perform the way they should have, or they just didn't work altogether, and that's why you didn't see me. But as long as I have something I can record on that functions and does its job, I'll make a video at least once a week. I know it's been a while since I made a video, and that's only, like I said, because I've been crunching and trying to get things taken care of between harvesting plants and making canning and doing stuff for the market. I mean, my time has been so wrapped up and so tight. It's not even funny. But I need to do more things, because I know some of y'all are like, well, I haven't seen nothing from you. I guess you just quit. No, I haven't. It's been really busy. And how it goes sometimes. Today's probably about 80-ish, mid-80s. Maybe upper 80s. I would say no more than 88. Humidity wise, it's very low humidity. I mean, it's not even muggy really. It's just kind of hot if you're in direct sunlight. But other than that, it feels wonderful. I couldn't ask for anything better this time of year. Of course, Sunday, technically Saturday is the first day of fall, but everybody wants to say the 22nd is the first, like the 22nd of every 3 months is the next season, which I was always raised and taught it's the 21st of every 3 months is the next season for them. So I guess nobody wants to do the traditional thing. Let's vamp it up and make it more confusing, I guess. I don't know. Man, it's so good. So good. But I guess here in a few, I get to go up there on top of the roof and turn my antenna a little bit so I can pick up a station. I use antennas for watching TV. Of course, I do have a Roku inside the house, which feeds off my Wi-Fi, which I can watch more channels on there than just regular antenna TV. It's great because, even with, say like if my main server for my Wi-Fi, which goes through Xfinity/Comcast, if it goes out, I have a backup router. And it feeds off of that as well, which I bought that some years ago. And a lot of, like my wife and one of my kids, they use that router for their cell phones in the house, and it works great. The TV in my bedroom runs off that router, and the Roku I have, that's my backup for Wi-Fi. So if something happens to the router, say they decide they're going to do a maintenance check and they shut my router down for 45 minutes to an hour doing their whatever they do across town wise, my other router powers everything else. So it's not a super duper router kind of thing, but I still get Wi-Fi, and it's great because it's better than having cable, because I get 980 or 990 channels on Roku TV that is powered by Wi-Fi, and it doesn't cost me anything other than the power to run the router, which is a few cents an hour, and maybe $1-ish a day to power the TV. So why pay for cable when I get something that works better and, you know, there's no bill? Other than the bill from the electric company or the Comcast, whatever like that, but mostly Comcast, like I have, is internet and telephone. So, but I'll still get Comcast occasionally. Like, do you want to upgrade to cable TV? Why the hell don't watch cable TV? Like a TV that does the same thing you're offering, but I get it for free. So, yeah. The joys of living in the country and away from the city limits, and well, country / county, because it was country out here for a long time, country-ish style setting, but people built up a few more houses, and then we got a Dollar General right down the street from me, and of course there's a gas station right over here, and now they're putting in a worthless ass roundabout. And of course there's all kinds of construction on now. I'm surprised they're not making noise. I guess it's about the time for them to shut down for the day, so that's probably why you don't hear them. But you know, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, they're out there, machinery running and fixing roadways and doing all kinds of crazy shit. They've turned my main road out here to a giant clusterfuck, what they've done. But you know, I just pay my taxes and they keep spending it however they can. So joys of being an American. Yay. Tax this, tax that, tax this, tax that. And I think it's funny that we, in the 1700s, went to war with England and bitch, hollered, and complained because we didn't want to have to pay taxes and everything else. And then here it is, 200 years later, we're paying more taxes now than that we ever have on everything and anything. School tax, property tax, vehicle tax, registration tax, tax on your food, tax on your drinks, tax on anything that you buy. So, yeah. The joys of being in the Socialist Party of America, as I refer to as. Which, I know some people get butthurt when I say that, but, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Whine and cry? Tell me how bad I am? Whoop-de-doo. But, I think I'm going to shut up, turn this puppy off, get ready to go up there and turn my antenna so I can pick up another channel. We'll pick up a channel that I did get till that got moved around a little bit. And then after that, get done doing that, go in the house and get my container, come out here, pick a bunch of tomatoes off the plants. And I don't know what I'm going to do then. I know there's going to be something I'm going to get into, doing something. So hasta la pasta. See y'all later. Like I said, I'm gonna make when I download this, I'm gonna charge my battery up really good, so that way when I go down to Greensburg tomorrow for CowDays, I can do some recording and do some videotaping. Of course, I might not say much or anything. I might just walk and record. But if nothing else, y'all can see where part of my family is from. I got a ton of cousins down there. Matter of fact, I won't say her last name, but her first name's Millie, and she lives down there, and I'm gonna be taking her some of the Italian pizza bread that I make. A couple, I think it's gonna be a big jar of salsa, some green tomato ketchup, and something else that I have made, so that way she can have some victuals, as we used to say, to eat on up until, you know, either I get down there again or she comes up here one. But like I said, I'll make a video, I'll do a walkthrough, and then after tomorrow, like I said as well, when I go into the woods, start tagging some sassafras trees. I'll take the camera with me, do a walkthrough when I'm walking through the woods, and if nothing else, something might happen, or we might get to see something crazy or something. Don't know how crazy something would be in the woods, but in Kentucky, there's no telling. So, but until then, keep your nose clean, your powder dry, and everything should be okay. And I'll see y'all again soon.